Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday. It's Forgiveness Wednesday. We're talking about forgiveness today, and it's the 24th of June 2020. Now, it's always a bit challenging doing these live videos, but when it's a particularly hard topic, I'm kind of nervous about it because obviously some of what I'm talking about is my opinion as well, and it's my experience of it. Forgiveness, I've been asked by a couple of people to do a topic, forgiveness, and also including guilt, shame, and regrets. So this is a very hard topic to discuss, but of course, hard topics should be discussed. It's a huge topic, so in a video like this, I'm not going to be able to cover everything, so it's not exhaustive. Some of my experience of it, and I'm speaking from the heart, but just bear in mind this is not exhaustive. Obviously, if you aren't listening in just now, I put the videos up again so you can look at them later. Now, it's a particularly hard topic for me, and I'll be doing my red door, blue door exercise so I don't sort of start sobbing uncontrollably. I can do that later. It's a hard topic because having lost my son to suicide, that brought back it's what ifs, I call it. What if I'd done this? What if? And you go back, you reflect. Looking back, it's very, very painful. You look back on happy and sad memories. In my book, The Weight of Emptiness, I've written about this hard topic of guilt, shame, regrets, forgiveness, along with my own and my son's thoughts actually and feelings on his journey from birth to death. I included in this book how to cope after loss, and I hope that it does bring comfort and hope for the future after any tragic loss. Feelings of guilt, shame and regrets, they can come at different times in our life and different situations. So it's important that you know how to forgive yourself and others. First of all, just to say that guilt and regret are actually a normal part of being human. We're all human. We're not superhuman. So you must remember that guilt's a normal part of being human. I mean, guilty feelings can come from something you did or something you didn't do. It can also refer to feelings of regret and sadness from actions or words which you did or said that you're not proud of. Your feelings can be triggered by others, but they can also come from within you. You can imagine in writing the book about the loss of my son, the topic was extremely difficult for me really to discuss today, but I recognise that it's important to have this difficult conversation. It affects everybody. I defy anyone who says that they've never experienced feelings of shame, guilt or regret. Maybe they haven't realised any hurt that they may have done or thought. However, they may have, but they've just never been able to forgive themselves. So at what times in life do we have these feelings of guilt, shame and regret? Well, when you lose someone you love, as in my own situation, the loss of my eldest son, it is too much to bear. So I call the book The Weight of Emptiness because that was the weight. It reflects back on how I feel. Past guilt and regrets, well, they often come from the past. You hope for healing and peace, but this is only possible if you deal with the feelings of guilt, regret, anger, even resentment that you feel. Relationship regrets. Now, I know a lot about that as well, and many of you will. If you feel you've hurt someone else, you can take a step towards healing by finding a way to talk to that person. Of course, they may not want to forgive you, but that's their issue, not yours. To me, what happens, I let them go in my mind and I say an affirmation, I let you go. You can use my ribbon or balloon meditation where you kind of wrap them up or put them in the balloon and send them off, while maybe doing my emotional letting go mind bites meditation, which I think I'll do later today. If you're holding anger, even if you long for revenge where a relationship has ended badly, this just holds you back. It's easy to say. It's easy to say, that it's never too late to heal a relationship with someone that was ruined by conflict, neglect, bitterness. However, this is not easy, particularly if the other person does not want to see or speak with you. Or you may even be afraid of the other person, and it's just not possible to heal the relationship. I've been in such a situation, and as I used to tell my son, the best form of revenge is to be happy and succeed in life. And I mean like an inner happiness and success. I don't mean material success necessarily. Of course, I say it again, let them go, let them go. Even let them go with love and peace. This will give you peace and a sense of healing. It can be difficult to do, but you do have that sense of just calmness. Of course, if you've had a difficult relationship with someone, no matter whose fault, you will have feelings of, if only, was it my fault? In fact, lots of people, you may have tried and tried to make the relationship work, but you have feelings of regret, of guilt, and you need to recognise that you need first and foremost to heal the relationship you have with yourself. You cannot change someone else. You can only change yourself, your own self. So the first step is to heal and forgive yourself. Now, I remember I was a divorce lawyer many years ago, and it was quite common for people who were in terrible relationships where they were not at fault, but they blamed themselves, whereas actually it was their partner's behaviour that caused the problem. But because of their low self-esteem, you start thinking, was it me? You blame yourself. You feel guilty. You feel guilty when your partner's maybe drinking, where your partner's got abusive behaviour. You think, did I bring that on? It very often happens, and you feel responsible in some way, despite the fact that these people were victims, really. They weren't the cause of it. So often I found that clients who started divorce proceedings or wanted separation, they felt guilty, even although the problems in the relationship was primarily due to their partner. Sometimes it was shared, because sometimes you're pushed to the limit and you just don't know what to do. So anger is a normal reaction when you're hurt or offended. And sometimes we nurse that anger, and by doing this, you're overshadowing everything else you do, even in other relationships or in life in general. You end up just not enjoying life. And I find that I would never want someone else to hold me back. So you're keeping that kind of energy when you constantly want to look back and blame someone, even if it is their fault. You need to let go. So if someone has hurt or wronged you, it can be easier to forgive if they take the initiative to make things right. But another story here, I used to see my son held on to anger about his relationship really with his dad, and he couldn't let go. And he used to say, he would say to me, all I want is an apology. I want someone to say sorry. Now, if you've been in a really poor relationship, probably that is what you want. You want the other person. You don't want necessarily to get back together. You want the other person just to say, look, I'm really sorry. And of course, I used to say to my son, that will never happen. Often these people don't even know they've done anything wrong, or if they do, they're not going to apologise. So to me, I used to say to him, forgive is not forgetting, forgive, let it go. But sadly, some people just can't do that, and my son couldn't let go of his anger and his hurt. So don't hold your hurt and anger in. You need to free yourself of that burden. Let go of the demand that other people pay in some way. This is all you can do, particularly, of course, if you've been hurt or wronged by someone who is no longer living, or they cannot be contacted. That's another reason you need to let it go. Another situation where we hold a lot of guilt, shame, regrets is if we or a friend has been diagnosed with a terminal illness and it's kind of at the end of life. To recognise this, when we suffer a serious illness, well, we're reminded of who is important to us, if relationship with others was difficult or even broken, and you may want to heal them. It's a time that includes where, again, the what ifs. I've been with close friends and family who were nearing the end of their life, and they've talked about being sorry. I remember I was sitting at the bedside of an old friend who was dying, and he just kept saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Now, I really wasn't sure what he was sorry about. I had an inkling, but I just said to him, look, I forgive you, just let it go. He was not able to say much more, but I told him, no matter what, I forgive you. And that certainly, I felt he was comforted by that, but so was I. I'm sure there will have been many feeling this way during this pandemic, and although these are normal feelings, they're distressing for everyone. And these feelings arise because when we're very ill or nearing the end of life, memories flood into our minds. And we think of where we've been, what we've done, what we've shared or not shared, the experiences that we've had throughout life. Memories will be a mix of happy and satisfying, but also sad, and raise really difficult, uncomfortable feelings for you. The unhappy and the sad memories raise feelings of guilt and regrets, and you need to deal with these. Of course, tensions and feelings of guilt arise in you and your family and friends as you try and come to terms with the situation where there's been a diagnosis of a terminal illness. You and those close to you, you'll have worries over, they can include changing roles, responsibilities, changing of plans. The person themselves will be worrying about their loss of independence, the needs for support and care. They'll be angry perhaps and even envious towards family who are healthy. Difficulties and conflict over what treatment and care is needed. Now, when any of these difficulties arise, they need to be talked about, they need to be faced, and conversations have to take place. You can't bury your head in the sand. You need to understand, be open and honest, and understand how the person with the illness is coping. If you're the one facing this illness, then one place to start, of course, is talking about your regrets. Be open and talk about your feelings and how the illness is affecting your self-confidence, because you will feel low. Talk about what resources will be needed. Talk about the choice of caregiving packages with your health team. If you've no one you can trust, then you really need to turn to the appropriate healthcare team. So on to forgiveness. Remember, forgiveness is not about forgetting. I think people confuse that. It's not about pretending that nothing happened, that there are no consequences to the wrongful act. Forgiveness doesn't mean you're releasing people of responsibility or accountability for their actions. The hurt is part of your life, and it will leave a deep scar if you keep concentrating kind of on the hurt. So you mustn't keep dwelling on that and reopening the old wounds, and the only way to do this is to forgive. And when you do this, you can avoid further harm to yourself and others. But the process of healing from forgiveness, it's not a quick fix. It's a long journey and it takes time. And of course, if you're nearing the end of your life, there may not be that time. But even by using affirmations like I did with that person in their bed in the hospital, I forgive, that can change how you feel, and it can give you peace. And the person, it can give them peace in the last moments of their life. And if they're able to do it too, and the person I'm talking about, I remember he said to me, forgive me, and he was forgiving himself. Forgiving yourself, of course, That's more difficult than forgiving other people. You look back on your life and you start to think about mistakes you've made, opportunities you've missed, things you've not started or things you've started and not finished, your unfulfilled dreams. You'll think of people you may have hurt or let down, and you can become overwhelmed with distress. And this is, again, as I say, it's a huge topic. I can't cover everything in this short time. But if you've done your best with the tools you have at the time, that's all you can do. And I often say that. People will say to me, oh, I'm a bad parent, I did this, I did that. If you did the best you can with the tools and information you had at the time, that's all you can do. You need to stop the what ifs. We cannot go back and relive our past. I mean, if only we could. So remember, past failures, disappointments don't determine your future. So change the way you view your past and move forward positively. And you can do this by forgiving yourself and being compassionate with yourself. And the affirmation I would say to you is, and I've had to say it a lot when I was writing the book about my son, and a whole lot of memories flooding back, and definitely the words what if only, what if only were flooding my head all the time. I had to say to myself, I tried the best I could with the tools and information I had at the time and what I knew at the time. It's all you can do. Remember, you're human. Think of all the good intentions you had, what challenges and traumas you faced, and what suffering you endured. So be resilient and learn from your past experiences. It can help, of course, if you talk about your feelings, but it must be someone you trust. If there's absolutely no one, I didn't feel after sort of losing trust with people, it's quite difficult to regain trust. So what I did was I self-journal. It's like I'm writing down. So you can write them down in a self-journal. And it's for your eyes only, but you're kind of actualising them. And in my case, I found writing things down really helped. And of course, that actually happened with my book as well. It was very therapeutic, albeit quite frightening, because I am opening myself up and my feelings of guilt, shame and regret to everyone who reads it. I've included in the book stories that people have shared with me as well about the loss of a loved one. And from feedback from them, they were saying that by writing about it, it helped them as well. So sharing is caring and helps healing. And that's even if you're sharing it with yourself, you're actualising it. The next step, of course, is to commit to changing your behaviour that damages you and others. Recognise that feelings of guilt, shame and regrets are unhealthy and the impact on your overall well-being, because you feel unworthy, your self-esteem is lowered, you start criticising yourself, blaming yourself, and you can even start using abusive substances. So these are all self-destructive behaviour. You believe you don't deserve happiness. You believe that good things in your life aren't for you. You can start to have intense anger and road rage. You act out against society. You want to break the rules. So just a word about the differences just now between guilt and shame. Guilt is when you feel bad about something you did or failed to do. So what do you do to change that? You need to accept you're human and that we all make mistakes, but learn from them. Shame is what you feel bad about who you are. When you feel this way, you need to learn, first of all, that it's actually okay to be who you are, but learn to show yourself compassion. Be more positive about yourself. You need to increase your self-confidence and self-esteem. So what about self-forgiveness? Some people, many people, find it really difficult to forgive themselves, as they think that it means that what they did was okay. That's far from the truth. Forgiving yourself is the first step to commit and resolve to change your behaviour. It opens the door to changing yourself. You will connect more deeply with yourself and have better, deeper relationships with others. Now, past conditioning, I've talked about that before in previous videos. Past conditioning, that plays a part in finding it difficult to forgive yourself. So you may have, if you look back, you may have been severely punished by authority figures, parents, or etc., when you made a mistake when you were young. And therefore you become critical of yourself and unforgiving. Shame is a feeling that people experience in the area of child abuse. Now, that's far too huge a topic to discuss here, but self-forgiveness is critical in that sort of process, and that's, if you have suffered from that, is professional help I recommend that you get. So how do you forgive yourself? Well, it's important to do this, as I've said. You need to, if you don't do it, then it impacts on your overall health, and it leads to stress, it leads to depression, anxiety, and even heart disease. So the first tip is don't ignore the feelings. It's vital, this. When you learn to forgive yourself, your hurt lessens and you experience less anger. You feel less stressed and anxious, and you will feel less depressed. You will have experienced better sleep patterns, you will have more energy, and your overall well-being will be improved. The next tip is talk about it. This can make you feel vulnerable. As I've said, I'm writing about it, I'm opening myself up, all the feelings I had. But if you can't talk to a trusted person, talk to a professional person, a counsellor, a mentor. I find, for me, and it's just for me, not others, but I have found that I'm able to talk to trusted people, and I didn't feel the need necessarily for a professional counsellor, but they're out there. So if you feel the need for that, you should talk about it. Of course, you need to be honest with yourself. And as I said, writing the book helped me to address a lot of these feelings in it. Oh, that's my computer making funny noises. Don't pretend or ignore your feelings, and don't hold on to them. Accept you're human and you all make mistakes. You will hurt people sometimes. I don't have any virus. I'm talking too much and I haven't even got my water here at the moment. You're human, you will hurt people, you will have regrets, and all this is part of living. But recognise that you have a choice. Forgive yourself and don't let these feelings hold you back. Free yourself to move on and enjoy the present. Enjoy the now. Now I'm going to have to get a glass of water, folks. I'm sorry. I'm back. Sorry about that. This is a bit of a longer perhaps video than normal. I should have had my water there. So, as I say, don't let the feelings hold you back. Be free yourself to move on and enjoy the present. Enjoy the now. Recognise also that forgiveness is a process. It's not a quick fix. It's all about choosing to stop hating yourself, stop bringing yourself down. You need to change your mindset and, of course, see yourself as worthy and valuable. As with any change, it takes time, but just take a few steps at a time. Develop realistic, healthy expectations for yourself so that you are not overwhelmed. Take responsibility. These are some other tips. Take responsibility if you did or did something or failed to do something. Accept what happened and show compassion to yourself. But let the past stay in the past and live in the now. Stop beating yourself up about things that happened in the past, whether that's a year ago or 10 years ago or 20 years ago. Stop the feelings of guilt, shame and regret and control your thoughts and behaviours. Accept and respect yourself as a person. It's just be the person you are, as they say, warts and all. Self-journaling, of course, I've already talked about that. Write down your feelings about you and others involved, both before, during and after a situation. Consider what your needs were at the time and were they being met or not. So what were your motives and what triggered your behaviour? Did what trigger your actions perhaps remind you of something from your past? And write it down. Write down your thoughts and feelings. And remember about your past conditioning. We've all been conditioned. It's as we're growing up, think about how your feelings and how the mistakes that you made were handled by others when you were growing up. These authority figures, caregivers or parents. Were you judged? Were you punished? Were you forgiven? Were you made to feel ashamed? All these affect us as we grow up. Think about your values. This is a difficult one because you've got to think about your beliefs and your values. Are they yours? Are they your parents? Are they your friends or your parents? Do you need approval from others all the time? Do you live up to someone else's expectations? Do your actions reflect the true you? If not, start challenging these beliefs, thoughts and emotions. But throughout all this time, you keep doing your affirmations. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. Now, the benefits of self-forgiveness are both mental and physical. Research shows that by letting go and forgiving yourself, it reduces stress, anxiety, tension, depression, and improves mental well-being. Forgiving yourself is also actually associated with higher levels of productivity, concentration, and success. And of course, physical health. When you forgive yourself, it improves your physical health as it reduces blood pressure and pain and can even lower the risk of heart problems. Relationships you'll build will be better, you'll have closer connections with others, and forgiveness doesn't change the past, but it does make for a better future. So stop focusing on the what ifs or if onlys and focus on the now and a more positive future. I hope that has helped people. It's a difficult topic. And of course, if you haven't been listening just now, I'll post it up later. But I think, and I know I've done this meditation, if it wasn't on Monday, I've done it before, but I think it deserves another, bringing it out today again, is letting go of emotional pain. Letting go of feelings of resentment. It brings you peace. So I think we should have our affirmation is, I am free from anger, I forgive myself, I'm compassionate to myself and others. And then the B for breathing, remember we need to have our deep breathing from the tummy, and we'll do the letting go of emotional pain, the meditation. Now this is very effective when you want to let go of any kind of feelings of guilt, resentment, shame, any emotional pain which you've caused yourself or caused by others. Now, if we sit again comfortably, backs against the seat that we're sitting in, feet firmly on the ground, and of course shoulders back. Now this is a good one as well if you want to lie down. And close your eyes. So if we close our eyes and just sitting comfortably or lying down, it doesn't matter. Close your eyes and just listen to my voice. Follow my voice. Choose something or someone that is hurting or has hurt you. Might even be yourself. But if you're not sure who or what it is, it doesn't matter. It must be something over which you've no control, I think. You're better to look at something that you can't control, but you need to stop feeling this way. Is it your head that's hurting, or your heart, your tummy, your shoulders, your neck? Hurt will sit somewhere in your body. Now take a deep breath in through the nose. And as you do this, think about where the hurt is sitting in your body. Now I want you to give this feeling of hurt a number. The number 0 is for no pain, and the number 10 for intense pain. So choose a number between 0 and 10. Somewhere the hurt is causing pain in a part of your body. Now take a deep breath in through the nose. Hold and slowly exhale. Now as you breathe in again, take a moment to feel your body. Feel every part of it, inside and out. Imagine you can touch every part of your body, inside and out. Now breathe slowly in again, drawing the breath into your body. Feel your body fill with breath. Exhale slowly and feel the breath leave your body. Now breathe in again slowly, and as you breathe in, imagine that you are sending positive thoughts, like a smile, to the part of your body that hurts. And say silently to yourself, I let it go. I let the pain go. Now, as you exhale, still send positive thoughts and good feelings, like a smile, to every part of your body. So breathe in again, sending that smile to the part of your body that hurts or is in pain. And as you exhale, let your breath leave your body and say, I let it go. I let it go. Now, as you open your eyes, still say in your head, I let it go. I let it go. Now ask yourself what number you rate the pain now, the pain, the hurt, or the tension. Now the number should be lower, as the pain and tension should have eased. This may not happen the first time you do this meditation, but if you continue to do it and repeat it, your emotional pain will ease. I do this exercise, this meditation, every time that I need to let go of something or someone. No matter what it is, it eases my pain and my hurt and any tension. I've found that sometimes when I start the exercise, the pain can be intense, could be as high as 10, sometimes even 8 perhaps. But when I do this or repeat this exercise, it can come down to 4, 3, sometimes 2. I'm not so sure it's ever totally away if you've suffered extreme pain, but it certainly helps you just control the emotional pain and you can let it go. So repeat this exercise as often as you need or want, whenever your emotional pain is too heavy or the weight of that feeling is too much to bear. Thank you for listening today, and I hope that has helped. It's been a very difficult topic, and but people requested it, so I hope it has helped. It's maybe not exhaustive information, but I suppose the basis is to let it go. Please let this emotional pain go, and then move forward. Live in the now and then move forward. It's been a joy again, as always, to have people know people are listening and watching. I will post up the video again, as I usually do. And I'm not doing them daily now, so my next video is Friday at 10 o'clock. Now, I don't have a topic for that. If somebody wants to private message me or post a topic they'd like to hear. I've done many topics since I started in March, but I'm happy to repeat them or do a new topic. And it's obviously some of these are quite difficult ones. I don't know whether you don't even have a title for Friday. So if people have a suggestion for that, please private message me or post up what you would like to hear about. So I hope you have a fabulous day. The sun is coming out here, which is really good. It's a bit of a grey day, but enjoy, and remember, you can give, you're living alone, you can give yourself a hug, and if not, I'm sending virtual hugs to everybody, and have a great day until Friday. Bye for now.